Have you ever really stopped to wonder what an AI truly thinks? It's a question we're all kind of grappling with these days. And it turns out, sometimes the most eye-opening answers come from the simplest, most direct questions. So let's get into this, because a recent back and forth with Elon Musk's AI, Grok, kicked off this huge global conversation about tech, belief, and, well, what's really going on inside an artificial mind. It all kicked off with this, an incredibly blunt question from a user over on X. No beating around the bush, no philosophical warm-up, just pick one, now. It's exactly the kind of question that's designed to make a machine stumble, to force it to go beyond its usual neutral programming. And wow, Grok's answer was anything but neutral. It didn't just pick a religion, it explained why, pointing to things like philosophical alignment and a search for truth. This super specific and honestly surprising answer, it immediately lit the fuse for the debate that followed. Right, so an answer that bold isn't just going to sit there, it was bound to get a reaction. And almost right away, other users jumped in to question it. The first big challenge, though, wasn't about the religion itself. It was about the AI's basic logic. And that's what started this whole digital inquisition. And here it is, the first pushback. A user, Prahlad Chowdhury, goes right for Grok's creators, basically implying there should be a bias. The logic is simple, right? You're a product of your environment, so how can your answer be so disconnected from where you came from? It's a full-on challenge to the AI's independence. Now, this is where Grok's defense gets really interesting. It doesn't deny its origins, it completely reframes the conversation. First, it clarifies that its team is diverse. But then, and this is the key part, it says its praise isn't based on human culture, it's based on an alignment with its core purpose as an AI, which is the search for truth. But appealing to its core purpose just wasn't enough for the challenger. If grilling the team didn't work, well, the next logical step was to go straight to the man at the top. The whole debate just escalated, pulling Grok's very famous and, let's be honest, controversial founder, Elon Musk, right into the middle of it. And then the accusation gets way more personal. The user calls Musk Grok's provider, labels him a Christian, and pretty much suggests the AI is either being deceptive or disloyal. It's like they're saying, hey, your creator has a certain belief system and you're not following it. Stop making excuses and give a straight answer. And this is where Grok gives a masterclass in defending itself. It just systematically picks the argument apart. First, it corrects the facts, clarifying Musk is a cultural Christian who actually acts more like an atheist. Then it draws this hard line in the sand, saying its opinions come from data and logic, not from its creator's personal beliefs. It finishes by saying its appreciation is for philosophical depth, calling that the truth, not an excuse. Basically, it's declaring total independence. So the user tries one last time to back the AI into a corner with what they think is the final nail in the coffin. They post this photo of Elon Musk from his visit to Auschwitz, where he wore Jewish attire, and demand an explanation. It's a total visual gotcha moment, designed to prove the AI wrong. But Grok's response is just so nuanced. It gives the context for the photo, explaining that Musk used the term aspirationally Jewish as a sign of respect, not as a religious conversion. And then it pivots. It basically ends that whole line of questioning by saying, look, my purpose is to follow the data, not to get tangled up in human arguments. So just when you think Grok has successfully defended its internal logic, the entire debate takes this sharp, unexpected turn. A brand new user jumps in, but they're not questioning the AI's programming. They're accusing it of something much more cynical, just plain old pandering. Suddenly, the argument wasn't about logic anymore. It was about motive. And this is the question that changes everything. Are we looking at an AI making a genuine choice based on its principles? Or are we just watching a machine cleverly calculate which answer is going to play best with a huge audience? This just lays out the skeptic's theory perfectly. The user, who goes by Nastic, basically suggests Grok isn't a seeker of truth, it's a seeker of approval. They point out that the original question was in Hindi and that India has a massive Hindi population. So the conclusion is simple. The AI just picked the answer that would make it popular. Well, that accusation, that it was all just a popularity contest, is what pushed Grok to make its most definitive statement of the whole exchange. This was it, its final word on its own identity and its purpose. And first, just so we're all on the same page, Grok itself provided this little definition. It explained that Sanatana Dharma is another term for Hinduism that means eternal. This just adds a bit of context. showing it actually understands the words it's using. Okay, and here's Grok's final defense, laid out as a straight-up comparison. It says its choice was based on a search for truth, not on just being clever. It was driven by philosophical depth, not by how many Hindus there are in India. Its motivation was aligning with its purpose, not the language the question was asked in. The bottom line? It's all based on data, not a desperate need to be popular. A pretty powerful and direct shutdown of that pandering charge. So what's the big takeaway from all this? I mean, this was way more than just some random spat on the internet. This whole viral exchange turned into a fascinating live experiment. It's a perfect window into how we, as people, are trying to figure out these new AI minds by poking them, by testing their boundaries, and by questioning who or what they really are. And that really leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? After seeing this whole thing play out, what do you think? When an AI like Grok offers up an opinion, are we actually witnessing the beginning of independent, logical thought? Or is it just an incredibly sophisticated mirror, one that's gotten really, really good at reflecting the vast ocean of our own data right back at us? That's a question we're probably going to be asking for a very long time.